As the school year progresses, the days start to feel like they're moving along much faster. Part of it may be the change of the season, however slight the change may be. While the calendar says it's officially fall, the only thing I really noticed was the increasing number of clouds in the sky. Better safe than sorry, though, which is why I brought my fancy compact carbon fiber umbrella. Still, things have started to be routine for me in the mornings. Wake up, throw my clothes, consider eating breakfast before realizing I'd wreck my stomach, walk to the station with a featherlight umbrella in hand. And wouldn't you know it, I end up having another chat with Mr. Ferris on the ride to school. Hello, Mr. Nito. How are you this morning? Doing fine, sir. Thank you. And how are you? I'm doing well. So, my niece told me over the weekend that you and Olivia were in a predicament of some sort. Yeah. Olivia was being picked on by someone, but it's not a problem anymore. I see. Well, that's unfortunate to hear. And strange, considering the substantial funding the school gets for anti-student harassment programs. What good is all that tax money if classmates are still ragging on each other? If it means anything, Olivia knows how to handle herself. I was there to support her. That's fine, but the issue is this sort of thing shouldn't be happening to begin with. That aside, Liz has gotten somewhat enthusiastic recently regarding Olivia. She's surprised at how animated she's gotten. Ever since that get-together at Randall's place, I think. I'd wager you'd have something to do with it, no? Maybe a little. Yeah, it was certainly rocky in the beginning, but we've been warming up to each other. It's nice seeing a different side of her, even if it's brief. I don't know. Can I take credit for that? We all have unique chances to make a change, Inko. If you're good at grasping them, that in itself is something to be proud of. How do you know it's really a chance to do anything? He lets out a deep, reverberating chuckle. Well, to flip our usual script and let you in on an old phrase, a friend of mine once told me if you see a fork in the road, take it. Yeah? Thanks, Mr. Ferris. Like my mornings, the school days have become a routine as well. Slave through PE with Damien, see Olivia's new doodles and sketches in art class, watch Liz lose her mind tutoring Damien at lunch, talk shop with Ben. Though now I have to avoid Mia like the plague, because she's surely out to kill me. All said, I think St. Hamon has been my best school experience out of... Man, I've lost count of how often I'd moved. Must be the fresh ed drama. As for today... It's been raining pretty often recently, so Coach Solly made us play more dodgeball in the gym. Mia was definitely gunning for me with the way she launched them at me with the speed of a catapult. I rest in Yodikin's class, popping my spine against the curve of my chair. Apparently today is a short day because of some assembly, so the period will end much earlier than usual. It also means we got most of the period to slack off and do homework. I glance at the desk next to me in the hopes of catching Olivia's latest artistic masterpiece when I notice she's not drawing, and instead only fidgeting. Hey Olivia, you seem a bit nervous. Everything alright? Oh, yeah, sorry. It's just that I've been hearing rumors that the school's share drive might have been corrupted. Wait, really? Yeah, really. How could something like that happen? Not sure, but I'm scared that it might have messed with the art contest submissions. I think you should check out your entry on the website, just to make sure it's okay. Technology, don't fail me now. With urgency, I take out my phone and type in the school's website. Fast fingers lead me to the art contest tab. Can this load bar go any slower? Finally, the page loads in, and... Huh. Looks like the submissions have been closed. What? I hold the phone up for Olivia to show her the page. The submissions have been closed since voting started last week. Oh. Sheesh, I thought Mr. Yodikin had spooked me. Olivia's all seized up. Well, that's Quite reassuring. With the submissions closed, there's no chance of any hacker messing with them. Olivia doesn't seem convinced, still drumming her fingers on the desk. Hopefully she'll feel loads better when the preliminary winners are revealed. Speaking of which, when are we... As the bell sounds, the class begins to pack their things and Gadigan corrals everybody into a single file line. Alright everybody, we have an assigned row, so stick together. Before I join the rest of the line, I look back at Olivia, who seems to be stalling. Come on, I'll walk with you. That seems to stir something in her, and she glances up to me while hastily shoving a notebook into her bag. Yeah, I'm coming. As we head out the door, I notice Olivia shuffling her hoodie a lot. It's not a long walk to the auditorium, and despite Yadikin's best attempts, most of the class splinters off to sit with their friends. Having expected this, he shrugs, makes his way over to the back of the auditorium where the other teachers sit. Olivia and I are left to the struggling crowd, trying to filter into the cramped theater of the school. It's going to be difficult finding some seats. It's fine, I have a spot. Olivia wheels herself down the pathway, to which I follow suit. She heads down the aisle until we're at the first row of seats. There's a vacant spot where a typical seat would be with a faded handicap sign. Olivia parks her chair into the empty spot, to which I take the seat next to her. Best seats in the house, right? Can't complain. As the hall fills with more students, my anticipation rises. Oh man, I can hardly wait for the announcements. So, do you think I have a chance? Huh? Oh, maybe. Photography isn't super popular, but... Olivia folds her hands in her lap, staring straight ahead as her voice trails off. I knew that, but I'm still hopeful. Hey guys! I have to remind myself that this is normal. Hey Liz. I can't believe it's finally here. Gosh, I'm so excited. Me too. By the way, where's Damien? Hey guys! I'm over here! Damien is in the far back of the auditorium, yelling and waving his hands in the air to catch our attention. He's gonna get in trouble for that. Frills! Sit down! Damien immediately stops and takes a seat. With tempered expectations, we both sit in silence for just a few minutes before Principal Scalar walks on stage and taps on a standing microphone. Okay, everyone, got a whole bunch of important announcements to make, so I'll make them quick so we can all have an early lunch. As soon as the idea of going for an early lunch is brought up by Principal Scalar, the entire room goes silent as a vigil. I guess when it comes to an early lunch, it's serious business. Over the next 15 minutes, Principal Scalar goes over important events coming up in the school year. Most I would consider standard things like pep rallies for the sports teams or bake sales to fundraise for upcoming field trips, and even something about new clubs being formed, such as the Japanese Animation Appreciation Society. Eesh, not the best acronym if I had to say. Otherwise, it's all mostly boring housekeeping stuff when one got right down to it. I almost wonder why such announcements warranted an assembly when the mood suddenly shifts with Scalar's next big announcement. Now that we got the main stuff out of the way, I've saved the best announcement for last. St. Hammond is proud to announce the 5 semi-finalists for the annual Fresh Start Art Contest. Cheers and applause roars, loud enough to make my ears ring. Yet, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't also excited for the reveal of just who had made it to the semi-finals. Maybe I was giving myself a bit too much credit, but I really wanted to be among those semi-finalists. I can almost taste victory. In fact, I turn to face Olivia and prepare to cheer alongside her, but I'm stopped in my tracks when I notice that, unlike the rest of her peers, Olivia seemed to be uneasy about the prospect. Almost scared, even. Before I can ask Olivia why her sudden change of mood, Scalar continues with her next words, cutting my train of thought off. And here we have the 5 semi-finalists. The pieces of the 5 skillful students who had beaten all the other competitors came up, followed by the names of the victors right above them. Alas, I see no photography submission in sight. At least I gave it a shot, right? Ah, man, I didn't make it in. Liz's neck droops down like a melancholy noodle. I can't help but feel pity for the bummed out Brachiosaurus. Checking my phone, I see... Tell Liz to come back here, bro. Hey, head on. I'm sure Damien's got that handled. Despite my sullied mood, I look back to the semi-final winners and can't help but be amazed by them. Each artwork is impressive in their own right, their colors blending wonderfully and the figures beautifully designed. It's easy to see why these were voted as the winners. The last one especially catches my eye. The scenic landscape with a setting sun looks stunning. If not for the slight stylization of the skyline and fantastical color palette, it could probably pass off as a real photograph with some filters pasted over it. I'm no art critic yet, but if I were, I'd label it as a masterpiece and easily the best out of all of them. Let's give our winners a big round of applause. The auditorium fills with the usual kind of clapping one would expect in an event like this. Polite, with an underlying tone of disinterest, though one person felt compelled to constantly make a piercingly high whistle. We will be displaying the winners' art pieces in room 237. You're welcome to view them during lunch and after school today. Oh, neato. Principal Scaler continues the rest of the assembly, announcing other events for the school and other minor reminders. Behind me, I see the teachers start psyching themselves up for the Herculean task of getting some 200 hungry dinosaur teenagers out of the room and towards lunch without anyone getting killed. Principal Scaler finishes and waves back to them to signal it's time. Alright, we're gonna start adjourning to lunch. You all know how this goes, so no just going for the exit. Being in the first row, we're the first to get up. I follow behind Olivia until we make it to the hall. Hey, Olivia? She stops and turns a bit. Jeez, she's still anxious about the sight thing earlier? She looks a little pale. I wanted to check out the winning paintings a bit more. Want to come along? She considers for a moment. No, go on without me. I need to use the restroom. Alright, I'll see you at lunch table then. Olivia nods and starts off down the hall, following the flow of students towards the lunchroom. Let's see, the principal said it was room 237. First thing I notice walking into the classroom is the amount of people checking out the gallery. While I didn't expect it to be filled to the brim with eager students, there's a decent amount of people here, about a baker's dozen or so. Maybe more will come when they finish up their lunches. Well, I'm here now. Let's take a look at the lucky winners. The pieces are all set on easels in the back of the classroom. Some desks and chairs are moved closer to the front to give each one its own space. One by one, I take a moment to give each canvas a thorough review. The auditorium screen really didn't give the art justice, because now I can really take in the detail of each one by being up close. The color palettes, the brushwork, the subtle nuances. Yeah, I can definitely see all of them having a good shot at getting first prize. But now it's time to see the one I've been eager to get a look at since it was first shown. From what I recall from Mr. Yodikin's lessons, it's made with acrylics, explaining why the colors of it seem more vibrant. It stands out in defiance to the other paintings in the contest, most of which were either violently absurdist and meaningless, or muted still lifes of ordinary objects. It's a meadow of mystifying colors, the organic lines drawing the viewer deeper into the piece, and I feel as though this would be a place I'd wake up to within a fantastical dream. There's no rigid structure or forced metaphors here, just a fantastical merger of creative expressionism and real-world beauty. I feel my fingers itching for the familiar weight of my DSLR. This is a piece that I want to immortalize in my portfolio. It's hands down the winner of the contest in my eyes. I simply must find out who made this. Looks like this breathtaking show of artistic talent was created by semi-finalist winner... That's a problem. Ah, Iko, I'm glad you swung by. Looks like you're buying the art contest entries. I told you that St. Hammond's artistic programs were unparalleled. That's not mine. What's not yours? I try to say more, but the words won't leave my mouth. Ben's eyes follow mine to the bottom of the painting in front of me, and I watch as he makes the same realization I do. Inko, you didn't... Did you paint this? I had no idea your style was so developed. So humble. If I had known... That's not my entry. It's not? No, mine was a photograph. But what's your name doing on this one? It must be some kind of mistake. A million scenarios come to mind. They must have gotten the name wrong somehow. If they did, I think the real artist would have come forward by now. Then the submission website must be hacked or broken. But our school checks for stuff like that. If it was, we would have known by now. Then, Inko, you're sure you didn't submit somebody else's piece by accident? Of course I didn't. Why would I do something like that? You're the only one who can log into your account, Inko. Suddenly, everything stops. My account. Did somebody... Look, relax, alright? We can get this sorted out, just don't panic. Ben lowers his voice. But Inko, just to be clear... What? You didn't just get a bit of extra help, right? Ben looks at me through the edge of his glasses, eye to eye. There's some real stakes in the contest. Cheating is taken seriously. Especially fraud. The word echoes around inside me. Fraud. It makes my bones chill. There's ingenuine, faker, liar. They're all bad in different ways, but fraud is just dripping with frigid condemnation. No, I swear, I submitted a photograph. Ben relaxes his shoulders. All right, just making sure. Sorry to alarm you. It's perturbing how he can go from deadly serious to jovial like a flipped switch. You going to be all right? Sorry. I need some air. Hey, feel free. I'll let Scalar know, okay? Yeah, thanks, Ben. No problem. Take it easy. Ben offers me an earnest smile, waving at me as he steps out of the room and down the hall. After some time, I follow him, shambling down the hall as I try to make sense of what just happened. I thought everybody actually liked my photography. But they all thought I was some kind of expert painter instead. I don't even know how to express it. I feel empty. I thought maybe my hard work was finally paying off, but... I submitted the right entry, so what happened? Did somebody change it? And if so, how? It's such a good piece, too. What even is there to be gained by putting my name on it? I wander aimlessly through the halls. The thought of missing lunch passes through my mind, but there's a different sort of emptiness pervading my stomach. Why is this rattling me like this? Man, it's not like I'm in trouble or anything. Ben's helping me sort this out. I'm at a loss what to even think right now. Oh, crap. Olivia mentioned something about server issues before. I couldn't see my submission, but... was it just that? Maybe Olivia was right to be worried. Well, duh. Why else would she be so nervous? My aimless walking leads me outside to the principal's office and the gala. There's that one cityscape painting from the start of the school year. The very first painting I ever saw here, and still one of the best. A vibrant cityscape that morphs the rigid structure of urban planning into a soft and inviting utopia, as if viewed from the eyes of a child. The sky above the city is a beautiful shade of crimson, with radiant clouds clustered along its length. If the art contest submission was the best painting I've ever seen, then this one comes close. I can only imagine the accolades she must have gotten for painting this back then. You know, for a while, I got to have that experience. I got to step into the shoes of an artist much better than myself. Maybe that was the intent? All the praise, approval, everything I've been wanting. Just for a while, it was given by an anonymous stranger. Whoever that may be. Actually, this gives me a bit of an idea. If I'm clever and Olivia's up for it, this can be a cool way to get her to show off her painting more. Everyone would like that. Maybe that's what she needs. I could act as like a personal publisher for her so she doesn't have to deal with people. Wait a second. I peel down the empty hallway. I need to find Olivia. She couldn't possibly... But why me? Why would she... Thinking about it only increases my worries and desperation to find who I hope to rapture Jesus isn't the culprit. I haphazardly check all the spaces where Olivia could be, but can't find her anywhere. My hunt for the baryonyx leads me to the second floor of the atrium. It feels like there's a lead brick in the pit of my stomach as I internalize my current situation. The soft pattering of rain hitting the window grabs my attention to see a gloom-covered Vol Caldera outside. My eyes wander along the school's pathway, covered in mud thanks to the earlier rainfall. Wait a minute. Those look like tracks in the mud. I burst through the main entrance doors and am met with the feeling of droplets hitting my head. Outside, a dark overcast has rolled in. The forecast called for on and off rain during the day, but pretty gnarly clouds. Makes it look almost dusk around. Crap, what am I wasting time for? I follow the trail with urgency, fearing that the rain will wash it away. Looks like it goes down the whole pathway. I ignore my clothes becoming progressively damp and the water collecting on my shades. Eventually, I round the curve that leads to the bridge and see a distressing item at its end. A wheelchair. Olivia's wheelchair. Empty of the occupant, toppled on its side. A new fear grips me, born from the mental imagery provided by that sight. Those cruel thoughts push me up the steps faster than humanly possible, even as my rational mind tries to reassure me. Running across the deck, my breath is caught in my throat when I reach the middle. She's on the ground, head slumped down. There's damaged and soaked school supplies scattered all over the walkway. Oh God, is she okay? My foot shifts, trying to force me closer. Slowly, her head lifts up to the sound of my shoes squelching on the floor. Inko? Her tear-stained eyes stare at me with a dead expression, and her voice sounds weak. Olivia... I feel like I can finally breathe again. Slowly, Olivia pushes herself up, and I notice she's lying atop a pile of paper shreddings. The feeling of relief slowly fades away, and I remember just why I was looking for her. We stay silent, only staring at each other as the rain continues to bear down on us. She simply sits there, letting herself grow more and more soaked from the rain. Do you want to talk?
No, not out in the open.
I grab my compact umbrella from my backpack and unfurl it. It doesn't do much to dry Olivia off, but at least she's not getting more soaked. The umbrella is placed between us and the elements against the ledge, forming a personal canopy over us. Here. Now we're alone. There's space next to Olivia to take a seat. It's odd. We've sat together before, but sitting on the ground in the rain, and the room is just a little claustrophobic. There's bits of paper melted onto the pavement, soaked by rain. Though torn apart and waterlogged, I can sort of make out a tree. A rough sketch of one, anyway. Like the one that stood prominently in my false submission. So you did do it.
Inko, please, I can explain. I didn't have a choice.
What?
I know what I did was wrong, but I didn't have any other way.
It wasn't a choice to not trick me? She avoids looking at me, focusing on the scraps of paper scattered about the floor like confetti.
It wasn't to trick you, I get it. You're mad at me.
I'm not mad. I'm just confused. I thought we were good friends.
I wasn't expecting it. Expecting you.
She pauses to give her throat some respite. Her usual water bottle isn't anywhere nearby. A shaky breath escapes her mouth.
When you came around, I thought you were no different than the others. That you were some self-centered, pretentious midwit who only cares about his image. That's when I got the idea of using you to swap out your art with mine. You didn't seem like the kind of person who cared about how he gets the attention from others, just that he gets it.
Her description of my character feels really reductive, but the ache in my chest tells me it hits a little too close to home.
But that's not what I think of you now. Yodikin's the only one I can trust. So when we went to bat for you, saying he'd make good friends, I was worried. What's so special about this guy? I honestly got scared he'd be wrong. That you'd be just like everyone else, and I'd be setting myself up for failure. But worse than that, Inko. I was afraid he'd be right. I'd have to face what I'd done to myself. And now I've gone and done something like this.
Switching my contest entry? She nods, swallowing hard.
I wasn't thinking. Suddenly, everything was out of balance. Everything I'd created, all my work, my own little world was suddenly changing, and I had no control over it. I just had to do something.
I didn't know I was doing that. I'm sorry. She stops to process my words and continues.
I knew I'd get caught. It's stupid. I was hoping for it even. Someone to figure out that it was swapped so it would be changed and everyone would be none the wiser.
She turns to face me with silver eyes welled with tears.
I'm sorry. Please don't hate me. I just don't want to go back to being the person I used to be. The person who didn't care about hurting you.
Her head tilts downward with a violent hitch of breath. Ivory claws extend and grip at her knees in a painful display, and yet Olivia chokes back any sound she'd make. Her body shudders with every heavy breath from her, and I realize that every last defensive barrier she had was completely gone. Olivia's laid herself bare, leaving only the crying girl desperately trying to silence her pitiful tears. She knows we can't hate her. We don't know why. All of this. I'm gonna hate myself for thinking this, but she still hasn't really told me why she did it. I don't want to push the issue too hard, but if not now, when? I just want to know, why go through all the trouble? What were you trying to accomplish? I immediately regret my words as the pained grimace on her face drives home the mistake she's made. Even if I'm in the right to ask, I feel like the villain for pressing her, but out of respect for Olivia's feelings, I stand steady, because to back down would be to denigrate her like all those people in her past had done.
I wanted to see what people thought of my art without knowing that I was the one who made it.
Why would you want that?
Isn't it obvious? It's always the same thing.
Her voice takes a deeper pitch.
Oh wow, you're so talented in spite of your condition.
This time it's a higher, shriller tone.
Amazing, it's like you aren't disabled at all.
Her voice returns, this time weighed down with contempt.
For all their kind words, it always came back to those empty platitudes. It never felt like they cared about me or my interests. It was always just blind praise because I'm doomed to never measure up to the same level of expectations. The worst of it came when I found out I couldn't even fail on my own.
The sound of her talons tearing more paper on the floor enhances her heated words.
Even when I intentionally do something wrong, someone's always there to pick up after me or to assure me it's good in certain lights.
She rips more off the page with every sentence. These are just old sketches from throughout the year.
Nobody else has to live with that paranoia. That every positive word spoken and action taken to help you is just someone acting out of obligation or insecurity. It got so bad at one point I was almost being forced to accept these freaking accommodations. I just ended up...
She drops what little remains of the pages unceremoniously.
Cutting everyone out. I'm never going to come out on top. And I'm never going to be allowed to fail. Nobody's allowed to feel anything but pity for me when they meet me, and guilt when they even consider not giving me a free pass. Nobody has any agency. That's just how things are.
The bell rings from a distance, signaling the end of lunch. Within my mind, I can vividly imagine the sounds of our classmates grumbling complaints as they shuffle to class. Instead, I choose to listen to the rain, how the soft pitter-patter of droplets land atop my umbrella before slipping gently to the ground around us. Internalizing that sound alongside the dimmer ambiance and overall wetness has turned the tiny park I'm accustomed to into a near-alien locale. I wonder to myself if this is why Olivia came out here. In a small way, all of her work seems to revolve around average places, but altered with unnatural and beautiful overlays, creating from the familiar and yet adding in the fantastical. I look over to Olivia, who also seems to be lost in thought. That does sound pretty tough. You going to be alright?
Honestly, that's only the start of it, but I don't want to. No. You wanted to know, right? I want to tell someone. Anyone. Right now, it's just Yadikin. I'm sure he's sick of it.
Alright.
This crap even affects my family.
You say that like you don't think they are.
They aren't, though. I can't change that. You're right. I should be a bit more grateful to them, but at the same time, it's... like, I know all too fucking well I could just hang out at the Pains for as long as I need to after graduation. They're just too nice to not, and the arrangement with my actual father could probably last indefinitely. I could just detach from society and leech off everyone around me forever, and it'd still just be pity and guilt.
But you saw them at the pool party. They love you.
I know, and I hate it, and I want to love them back, but I can't. Not now. I've already wasted so much. Who am I to suddenly turn around in my last year? I want to just get out of their hair, not waste their time anymore. Otherwise, I'll be the one hurting them, wasting all their patience and kindness for years like I already have, and I'd never be in the wrong. Who the fuck wants a free ride through life like that? And that's all I have waiting for me, realistically. Damn it, why am I telling you all this?
Olivia clutches her throat. Her voice has gotten strained and weak. It hurts to speak at all, but she's been letting it all out. Hell, what am I doing just watching? I'm such an idiot. I rummage through the insides of my backpack until... here it is. Pulling out a water bottle, I offer it to her. She eyes it on the ground indifferently, then goes to drink it. The whole bottle is finished in one go, and she drops it in the growing pile of trash.
Thanks.
I give a silent nod. She looks off into the distance again, picking up her train of thought.
That's why I had to do it. I had to know if I really was good at something, for once. Really, genuinely good. No false praise, no parasocial relations where I'm verbally filleted so everyone else can feel better for it. I had to know my art was real. That I could be something for real. That I have a real way out. Yadikin assures me all the time it's good enough. Fuck, why didn't I listen to him? He probably knows everything by now anyways. He usually does.
Honestly, taking all of this in at once is challenging to digest, to say the least. You said you expected to get caught?
Yeah, I said I wanted to be. I wasn't even sure other people would see it if you caught it fast enough and switched it back, thinking it was a bug. Then you started getting all this praise out of nowhere.
Yeah, I did. Seems a bit sad in retrospect.
Yeah, around then it really settled in just how badly I messed up. I tried to get you to notice it by showing me the submission yourself. Then you'd just go to the office and get it changed. Nobody would get hurt. End of story. But, of course, you still had your own saved. You're always just so prepared for anything.
She gestures to the crushed water bottle.
The weeks go by, you get more praise, I get more nervous. Then today, and...
Olivia's hands finally fell into her lap, limp and spent.
Here we are.
It's my turn to say something, I guess. I just don't know how to process all this. It's not like friendships come with instructions. My own thoughts are muddled, pushing me to find some way to comfort the girl before me. And yet, to comfort her would be to demean her like people have done in the past. It's so confusing, and frustration and pity mix haphazardly in my stomach. It's nauseating. Pity for the girl before me that has wronged me, but not out of real malice. Frustration at myself because Olivia was right, having unveiled an uglier side of me I wasn't aware of. Well, in a world where no one will let her fail, perhaps we can. My thoughts land on what Olivia said earlier in the conversation. You gonna tell Principal Scalar? Olivia flinches a bit.
The principal? Why?
About what you did. You said you expected to get caught.
We can't tell them officially. Anything but that.
Olivia shifts uncomfortably in her spot. Why not?
If they found out, it's all over.
Isn't that a bit extreme?
Honestly, it'll be the end for you too.
It's my turn to flinch. Olivia's getting worked up again. New fear starts spiking through her eyes. I don't need to ask. Olivia answers anyways.
You didn't talk about it until now, after it's nearly guaranteed to win. With the stakes, it'd look like you were complicit. Or worse, like it was your idea. You'd be a fraud.
There's that word again. Fraud. No. That word all over my record in senior year, when I'm about to have to find a career? Fraud. But even so, isn't it the right thing to do? I can handle it. Don't worry about me.
Please, Inko, no. There's more. I told you I'm not eligible to even enter. I already won before. I got the notoriety and the money. The winning piece is featured on the cover of Volcaldera Monthly and even gets an article. That's more than a scholarship. It's a foot in the door. They can't do anything about the money. It's long gone, but if everyone knows what I did, and it gets to those magazines...
She clutches the sleeves of her hoodie and stares me dead in the eye.
I need to graduate. I fucking hate it, but I need it. It's my only way out. My only way to actually go somewhere.
You're putting all your eggs into that one basket?
There's no other baskets. I can't risk it. I know I just carried on about why does nobody let me fail, but it's serious. They can't know. Please, Inko. I can't lose everything over this mistake. I just can't.
I can't. Fraud. God, not that. But isn't it? Olivia grabs the sides of my jacket and yanks herself close. The motion tips the umbrella over. It slides a few feet away in the breeze. It makes her almost lose her balance and fall over onto me. Her breathing is erratic.
Inko, listen to me. Please, I can't lose this. I can't be doomed to be nothing. This is all I have. You can't go to someone about this. I'm begging you.
She's tugging me towards the ground, closer to her. My jacket's starting to tear. I can feel her anxiety by how her hands are quivering with fear as they grip tightly on my coat.
It's my fault. Okay, not yours. You don't need to make it your problem. Please.
Okay. Nobody else has to know. It'll have to be our little secret. Olivia exhales and lets go. All at once, she slumps down. I have to hold out my arms to stop myself from falling too. Olivia ends up slumped over my lap sideways. Oh. Hey, you okay?
No, I'm really not.
The gator girl tries to push herself up from my lap. Her attempt only ended up with her twisting on my legs and turning her face and chest upward. She must be really exhausted, as even her attempt to blow her wet hair from her face is unsuccessful.
God damn it. Is this what it's all come to? Got away with it too? Fuck, I'm just like Ben.
You have the energy to get up?
Not yet.
Olivia? What's wrong with Ben? How are you like him? She exhales hard.
Ben. It's all his fault. All of it. If not for him, I wouldn't be this thing. Some worthless heap, unable to do anything with nothing and nobody. None of this would have happened.
That sounds like something I shouldn't be prying into. You don't need to tell me.
Yeah, I don't. But I did this to you. I should be honest.
Can you get off my legs first? I'm starting to lose feeling.
You too? Fine. Can you help me up at least?
I take Olivia's shoulder and help her back into sitting position by me. She just leans back against my shoulder.
Sorry. Been a long day.
I guess it's fine for now.
Where do I even start? That Ben. I don't even remember how we became friends, but we definitely hung out a lot in my last year of middle school. He didn't care that I was in the chair, didn't treat me any different. He was cool.
What's the issue then? Olivia bops my chin with her skull.
Let me finish. He was cool. But in freshman year, back then Ben was only in the student council as a secretary. I was looking forward to that yearly art show. Worked all summer for the perfect piece. Dreamscape.
Disdain was heavy in her tone as she said its name. Yeah, it won.
It wasn't supposed to.
Once again, her eyes were teary, though with rage this time. My mouth clicked shut as she glared at me. Her eyes closed, and her tone was once again sorrowful.
Ben started advertising himself as my friend, like it was some part of his own personality.
The sigh that escapes her carries years of her repressed anger.
Even his friends started doing it too. Like being around me was an act of charity that made them better. He eventually told me straight up, I'll give him that.
Her voice shifted again, but this time, instead of a voice to lampoon someone, it was an eerie facsimile to Ben.
I'm universally down on my luck. Not even a week later, people started walking up to give praise to my submission. It was the first time in a while I'd gotten a compliment for my work. I thought my submission was gonna win. It was exciting. Until Damien showed me an article in the school newsletter written by a certain student council secretary. Half of it was basic crap about the art submissions. The other half was about me. Ben had written the longest segment about the talented poor girl in the wheelchair and practically worshipped me for my determination. Surprise, surprise, it wins by a landslide. Even when my piece won, all I could remember was that feeling of just being handed a victory as charity. My whole summer, all that effort just overshadowed. And for what? A safety net that I didn't earn? He really thought I was going to thank him. That's the worst part, honestly. As if I would after using me as a stepping stone to climb the social ladder. I couldn't take it anymore. I told him to get out of my life, and he just gave me this look. I'll never forget it. Genuine confusion, like I was an alien for being upset. But what he said, "This is your only chance of succeeding out there." I wanted to just give it all up. But by then, the money, the exposure, his fucking safety net, I just took it. He was right. He was right, and I hate it. I really, really, really fucking hate it.
So that's what's between Ben and Olivia. I figured it was something, but sheesh.
After that, I just couldn't. I shut everything out. Everyone out. Everyone was fake. Everyone didn't want to know me, just what I exist as. Even my own family. Hell, it's all his fault. All of it. Well,
what?
that's it. That's the truth. I just want to graduate and get away from here. From him. He ruined my life. Because of him, I'm not Olivia. I'm Olivia, the poor, sad cripple. That title is forever fixed to my name.
Come on, that's not true.
You're right, it's not.
You're Olivia.
No, that's also not it. I'm not Olivia. I'm God's funniest joke.
I nudged the umbrella back over us. It goes back into its spot, propped up between us, recreating the canopy shielding us from the elements. Olivia looks to me to gauge a reaction. That was the sort of speech given by someone that's had years to think about it and hold it in. And it's one she's been waiting to give anyone willing to listen, if she could just trust them. All of her pent-up angst against the guy that ruined her life. Released at the moment she just couldn't take it anymore. It can't get much worse than this for her, but she trusts me. What she needs to hear right now is... not the promise. You don't promise to be a good friend. You just be a good friend. I take my sunglasses off and lean forward, placing a hand on her shoulder. She takes a moment to register the new sight and looks right at me, anticipating whatever I'm about to say. You're not a joke, Olivia.
I appreciate you and all, but it doesn't matter. The damage has been done. All that shit was what made me into a nihilist.
I wouldn't say you're a nihilist, Olivia. Plus, I don't think that's what the word means. You still enjoy some things.
Got a better word? Well, there you go.
That's beside the point. Ben did something horrible, but he didn't take your agency.
Are you saying that I ruined my life? Is that it?
Annoyance bubbles up within me as she argues back. She wanted to get caught in the act. Yet Olivia looks at me as if I spat in her face.
Just what the hell are you getting at, Inko?
What am I getting at? The fact that you can't keep using Ben's shitty choices as a crutch. Her breath catches. You need to take responsibility for your own life, who you are, and what you want to be. My words catch Olivia off guard, and they kept coming, unbidden now. You say that you're a nihilist, yet you draw these amazing pieces that reflect these realistic fantasy worlds. And you say that no one wants to know you for you, but you know you have the pains, Yadikin, Liz, me. Can you really blame any of that on Ben? Even the art contest. Ben didn't yank some evil string of fate and make you swap out the submission. You made yourself do it. I know it's hard. I have trouble with this too, but Please, for all of us, take responsibility for your feelings, Olivia. Oh, shit. Damn it, mouth. My tirade has left Olivia staring at me, mouth hung open and aghast at what I said. I hiss in realization and try to backtrack. Sorry, fuck you. Stopping completely, Olivia's head raises from my shoulder and she glares at me. Her eyes are heartbroken. They're enraged. They're looking for something to lash out at. But they're trusting. Fuck you for being right. I know all that, damn it. And you're the second one to say it. Her eyes water and her head returns to my shoulder. Damn it all, Inko. I'm stunned as she presses further against me, even using her arms to tuck her legs closer. You and Yodikin had... Fine. You're right, but how do I start? I have no idea what I should do. Her voice sounds so weak, but there's a conviction hidden within it. Honestly, she should have just mauled me for what I said. It's what she wants. I can do this. Well, what do you think is wrong right now? You'll have to be more specific. All right. What about Damien and his family? She hums in thought. And then there's Liz, too. All of them would probably like to hear your thoughts. Yeah. What would I say, though? Whatever you're feeling? Hell, just being more open in general would be something. I can feel her frowning, but also nod against my shoulder. Fine. What else? Mr. Yodikin? She scoffs. He probably already knows. What you're thinking? Yeah, he reads me like a book. But he'd probably like to hear you say it. Yeah, he would. And me too. You got your turn. You told me just now, but I'd like to hear more about you. You're my friend. All right. Starting now. I can feel her rumbling growl before she sighs. Sorry, Inko. For all the shit I've put you through since you got here. For being a really shitty friend. For you having to put up with me. I chose to be your friend, Olivia, so don't apologize for that. Olivia looks up at me through the corner of her eye. Ben can't take your agency, and you can't take mine. I'm choosing this. You're silly. Her words were strained, and not from lack of water. The regret in her voice was raw, along with the honesty. Thanks. And I forgive you. And once again, silence. I fumble with my sunglasses, debating whether I should bother with them given the rain. Might as well. I guess they are prescription, after all. We just lay back, listening to the patter of rain against our little tent. Just her and I, secluded from the world that's done so much to crush her. Man, she's really leaning against me. I crane my neck so I can turn and look at her. She looks so at peace now, even with the smeared mascara and wet hair. I'm starting to lose feeling in my arm, though. And watching her like this is... Was that a snore? I guess she would be pretty tired. It's been a long day for us both, even if it's only fourth period. Did I do all right? Things turn out pretty okay, but I'm anxious. The best I can do is be there for her. In this case, it's letting her have my shoulder for a bit, pressed up against me. My eyes slide closed, and I try to lose myself in the pitter-patter of the rainfall. Oh my god. Olivia jerks herself up and starts coughing into her fists. Fuck. How long? About 5 minutes, probably. Jeez. Sorry. You know, I remember when you got on to me for just sitting near you back at the party. Shut up. Looks like you're improving a bit. Olivia bonks the umbrella, making it splash a bit onto me. Hey! Anyway. Olivia stretches her arms. Things go quiet again. Olivia finally breaks the silence. I know you say you forgive me and all, but I still feel like shit for putting you through all this. Now everyone's gonna expect you to be skilled at painting. They'll call you a fraud. Oh, yeah. I was trying not to think about it. Damn it, it's all my fault. Olivia rests her arms over her knees, and I'm surprised she manages to bury her long snout in them. An idea hits me. What if you taught me for real? Olivia raises her head from her arms. Taught you? Painting, for real. It's like you say, I have expectations to fulfill. Would you teach me how to paint like you do? I don't know. I'll tell you what, I'll forgive you if you teach me. You already said that. Olivia looks down in contemplation. All right, I'll teach you how to paint. But you should know I'm a lousy teacher. You've seen my work in class. I'm a lousy student. I've got a feeling it'd work out. Hey, don't make it weird. Yes, Professor Halford. Stop making it weird. I chuckle as I'm playfully shoved by her. After that, after everything was said and done, things become quiet. Beneath the solace of my umbrella, we relax together. At least until Olivia begins shifting uncomfortably. I sit and watch as she takes her calves and shifts them to her side with one hand. Her tail comes around and presses into the paper-filled floor before her, keeping her upright as she starts to lean forward. Finally, with the strength of her tail in one arm, Olivia lifts her hips from the floor and swings her shins fully beneath her. She smiles as she kneels over me. You just gonna sit there? Crap, I guess I was gawking stupidly. But it's just so fascinating, seeing the girl maneuver herself in these odd yet well-practiced ways. I'm kind of jealous, actually. I wish I had a tail to do some of the things she could. I press my hands down on the floor and push myself up. I don't know why. I had thought to stand, but instead I shifted myself to a kneeling position too. We're face to face now. For a split second, I feared the worst as Olivia drew me into a hug. I don't know what she would do, but I like this. For how strong her arms are and how they're wrapped around my chest feels exceptionally tender. My own arms have enveloped her, returning the embrace in a similarly soft way. And as her arms loosen, I draw back, though I don't want to take my hands off her. That was nice. Don't make it weird. Sorry about that. Through the sound of rainfall hitting the umbrella, my ears suddenly pick up on the noise of what sounds like squeaking. I look down and see that there's something shuffling in Olivia's pocket. A little beast emerges from its hiding spot with a squeaky yawn, to which Olivia offers her hand for it to use as a platform. Hey, little guy, nearly forgot about you. Had a nice nap? That's a rat. Oh, right, you two haven't met each other. Inko, this is Guts. Guts, meet Inko. Oh, hi, Guts. I awkwardly wave at the apprehensive-looking rodent. Olivia lifts Guts to her shoulder gracefully, like her hand is an elevator for him. You brought him to school? Well, yeah. I just really needed him today since, all the crap that's happened. She gives Guts a few scritches under his chin. I bring him sometimes when things get rough. And nobody noticed? You haven't. Touché. Yadkin did once. He just told me not to let him run around the school. Otherwise, it would be considered a health hazard or something. The tardy bell rings out in the distance. We're late for our next classes. I'm sure Yadkin will understand. We should probably get back to class. Here, hold this. I give Olivia the umbrella so she and the rat can stay dry while I go fetch the wheelchair. By now, it's settled into the mud. This wheelchair has definitely seen better days. After dusting off the dirt and pulling water the best I can, I make my way back.
Thanks.
She offers the umbrella back, but I make sure to hold it above her. I keep the wheelchair steady with one hand as Olivia climbs into the seat, using her tail to help herself up. We stand in the rain in silence for a moment, only sharing content glances.
So, what do we do about the contest now?
That's a good question. Ben was there when I saw my name on the painting. He already went to tell someone. So, like you said, no harm, no foul.
What about your own submission? Everyone did.
I scratched the back of my head. It wouldn't have won anyway. It's just a picture.
Oh. I thought it was pretty okay.
Hearing those words from Olivia sends a strange flash of heat to my face. It's not unpleasant, but again, those words from her really do cut through me for some reason. Thanks. A loud squeak draws my attention to Guts as he stands atop Olivia's shoulder. You too? A wry smile stretches across Olivia's face.
I think it means Guts is saying it's actually so-so.
Hey.
Cut on some slack, Guts. Inko didn't have any time to make anything for the contest.
He's got some high standards.
Yep, that's why I've gotten so good.
The sheer absurdity of it. I don't know which of us broke first, but our laughter fills the air, heard only by us as the rainfall cuts off all other noise. So, now what?
I don't know. I don't want to go yet. Still pretty worn out.
Worn out. A smile crosses my face as a wicked idea comes to mind. Well, too bad.
What?
I walk around behind Olivia, grinning like a mad idiot.
Inko, what are you doing? Inko! Inko!
Her head tries to follow me as I stand right behind her chair. I figured that pushing your chair around is really tiring, so how about I help you out? Olivia blushes and looks away.
Fine, but just for today.
Returning to the campus was certainly awkward. Passers-by shot us looks. It's not the most common scene to see a girl in a wheelchair just roll on in, sopping wet and tracking mud in. More likely, though, it was because said girl had taken to using my umbrella to hide herself from those looks. She was already extremely red in her face. It was a conundrum. Drop the umbrella and let people see her, or keep it up and draw more attention. I shall call it the Nito theorem. She's gonna kill me if I ever attempt to publish it. But making our way back to Olivia's current class, she simply shook her still concealed head. I didn't really have much of a choice. From all that I knew of the girl, her last classes were all in the upper levels. And as she was in possession of the elevator key. And I was in possession of the weakest knees here in St. Hammond, at least according to Coach Solly. So I wheeled her to my current photography class. On the way over, she keeps bending her head back to peek at me, like she's making sure I'm still there. Knocking on his closed door, the pterosaur professor didn't even bat an eye at the poorly hidden girl. He simply stepped aside and let us through. Ben was looking our way, but I chose to pay him no mind. After everything I heard, Olivia didn't even register he was here. She simply rolled herself to the back of the classroom and through a door into what I'd always guessed was Yadikin's supply closet. You know what? I'm an idiot. It's a dark room, isn't it? The stares of my other classmates abated thankfully as our teacher continued his lecture. Taking my own seat, I focused on Yadikin. As much as I could, at least. My muddled thoughts kept me distracted the whole period. Just before the bell rings, Yadikin stares me dead in the eye. He points a stern finger directly at me, then to the floor to signal, "You stay." I think with that, we'll leave it here for today.